Hello everyone, how are you? The toys have been very busy this week making pizza. Brody likes pepperoni on his, and Green Bear likes cheese and tomato. Yum. Do you like pizza? Pizza comes from a country called Italy, and this reminds me of a story about the Apostle Paul. He had to sail in a ship from his home in a place called Caesarea the whole way to Italy, where pizza comes from, to the city of Rome. The Jewish people who didn't believe in Jesus didn't like Paul. Some of them told lies about him and said that he should be put into prison. Even though no one could prove that he'd done anything wrong, he had to stay in prison for a really long time. Paul wanted to go to the city of Rome to talk to the leader, whose name was Caesar. Paul thought that Caesar would be able to listen to his story and let him go. Rome was a really long way away from the city of Caesarea, so Paul had to go on a ship. A special Roman guard was sent to look after Paul, and his name was Julius. Julius was very kind to Paul, and he let him get off the ship to visit his friends whenever they stopped at different ports. Bad storms made the trip really hard. They were sailing in the winter, and there was lots of rain and wind, and the boat was battered around. Paul told the captain that they shouldn't sail, they should stay in port over the winter time. But the captain didn't listen to him because he thought Paul was just another prisoner. He didn't think he knew anything about sailing. So they sailed on. Soon everyone wished they had listened to Paul because the storms grew bigger and bigger and the rain was heavier and heavier. The captain tried to dock the ship at an island called Cyprus, but it got blown back into the sea, so they had to keep going. The storms got so bad that the prisoners on board couldn't tell if it was day or night. It was dark all the time. They had to tie big ropes around the boat to hold it together so that it wouldn't break up in the rain and the winds. It seemed like the ship was going to sink, so they threw out everything on board that they didn't need, including lots of their food. The prisoners on board were scared and hungry. One day Paul stood up and said to everyone aboard the ship, "You should have listened to me before. Be sure and listen to me now. I have good news. An angel came to me last night and gave me a special message from God. The angel said that none of us would die. The ship will crash onto the island, but we'll all be saved. I know that God will take care of us." Finally, 2 weeks later, the ship got close to an island. It was the island of Malta. Paul told everyone not to worry. The captain tried to sail the ship close to the beach, but it crashed onto the rocks. Everyone who could swim jumped into the water and swam for shore, and those who couldn't swim grabbed on to bits of the boat that had broken off and floated up to the beach. Remember how Paul told the captain of the ship that it would crash, but everyone would be saved? Well, that's exactly what happened. There were 276 people on board the ship, and all of them made it to shore. All of them were saved. God protected all of them. Paul and Julius stayed on the island for 3 months until another ship came to take them to Rome. I have another story today for you about the sea, and it's a good one. The next story I have for you today is this one. What the Ladybird Heard at the Seaside, and it's by Julia Donaldson. One July, when the sun was high, the ladybird took to the clear blue sky. She spread her wings in the summer breeze and flew over farms and fields and trees. She flew and she flew as fast as could be, till at last she came to the deep salt sea. And the sea lion roared, and the seagull shrieked. The mermaid sang, and the dolphin squeaked. The crab went snap, and the shark went gnash. The whale's grey tail made a mighty splash. The dogfish barked, and the catfish purred, and the ladybird said never a word. But the ladybird saw, and the ladybird heard. She saw two men in a camper van with swimming trunks and a cunning plan. They were Hefty Hugh and Lanky Len, up to their wicked ways again. Said Lanky Len to Hefty Hugh, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll lie in wait till it's 12 o'clock, then out we'll swim to the mermaid's rock. The mermaid's hair is very long, she combs it while she sings her song. But when it's night and she's fast asleep, then tiptoe onto her rock we'll creep, and snip, 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 we'll cut that hair, so very long and very fair. Said Hefty Hugh to Lanky Len, we'll make a lovely wig, and then we'll sell it to a famous star. What brilliant, brainy blokes we are. The mermaid's hair will soon grow back, enough to fill another sack. We'll keep on doing it forever. We've hit on something really clever. The little spotty ladybird, who hardly ever said a word, told the animals what she'd heard. The sea lion roared, and the seagull shrieked. The mermaid wheeled, and the dolphin squeaked. The crab went snap, and the shark went gnash. The whale's grey tail made a mighty splash. And the fish declared, that wicked pair, we can't let them steal the mermaid's hair. But the ladybird had a good idea, and she whispered it into every ear. The seagull gave a joyful shriek and fetched some seaweed in his beak, and as the sky was turning red, he dropped it onto the sea lion's head. Then, as the sky was turning black, the sea lion climbed on the whale's humped back. The clock struck 12, and the two bad men, Hefty Hugh and Lanky Len, flip-flapped down to the salty sea. It was cold and dark, but they laughed with glee. Then the whale began to sing a song. That's her, said Hugh. We can't go wrong. They swam towards the tuneful sound. She's still awake, said Len, and frowned. The singing stopped. They took a peep. Said Hugh, I think she's gone to sleep. Up they climbed with their big brown sack onto the whale's enormous back. And snip, 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 they started snipping. This hair, said Hugh, is damp and dripping. What's more, said Len, it's awfully tough. Our scissors can't be sharp enough. Then, help, cried Hugh. "This rock is heaving. I think we'd better both be leaving." Then Len replied, "Just one more snip." Then the whale's grey tail gave a great big flip. The thieves fell into the water, splosh. And Hugh said, "Golly," and Len said, "Gosh." Then, "Ouch," cried Hugh, and Len yelled, "No," as the shark bit a flipper and the crab pinched a toe. They swam for their lives, and then they ran all the way back to their camper van. "Phew," said Hugh, "we've had a scare, but at least we've got the mermaid's hair." They opened up the sack, and then... "It's full of seaweed," shouted Len, and "Tricked again," said the two bad men. Then the sea lion roared and the seagull shrieked. The mermaid sang and the dolphin squeaked. The crab went snap and the shark went gnash, and the whale's grey tail made a mighty splash. The dogfish barked and the catfish purred. But the ladybird said never a word. Isn't that a good story? I like that one. Hefty Hugh and Lanky Len are naughty. Well, I hope you have enjoyed our stories today, and I hope we'll see you again soon. Bye bye.